I was soon to move on to Old Carlton. It was my plan to go straight there after Lushville, but when I briefly stopped to extend Talus's cave a little, I became carried away. When I started the wooden bridge across the large crag on Mount Portley to get to the grove of oak trees on the other side, I didn't know how long my stationary detour would be. Even when I had finished digging out the second level of the mountain hall, and the third, then redug them because I changed my mind about the length, I still told myself that I wouldn't be here long. Wherever I planted my temporary roots, I became attached. Whether that was Copperwater Cave, Gravelly Cliff, the Villagers, or of course my home, Fool's Landing. I'd never stayed anywhere quite like Mount Portley though. Maybe I was inviting the attention of monsters by keeping the entrance as just a fence. But in my head, I was only fancifying Talus's quarters, at least to start with. There seemed to be far more Endermen around, but not guessed. I'd not seen them since the standoff with that other one. I knew the Endermen were feeling inquisitive when I sensed the echoes of their visions. None were as potent as guests. In fact, it was rare for me to receive visions from any Enderman other than guest. But the deeper I dug, the more potent they were becoming. I almost didn't trust my eyes when the roof of gravel caved in to reveal the sunlight. But there was Old Carlton, a shortcut through the whole mountain I had not intended to make. It was hard to dwell on any of the Endermen visions, because these ones seemed to ebb away quickly, like awakening from a dream where the harder you try to remember, the quicker the memory fades. I couldn't decipher the cryptic messages and didn't know if they were meant in the spirit of goodwill or provocation, or if they were intended for me at all. And, whether it was intentional or not, their activity was certainly riling up the monsters as well.
Your stuff and we'll leave it in the duff, 'cause we never turn away a fight. They say we're the cursed feared amongst the villagers, for we are the Dunmoor Crag Pillagers. Our crossroads fire through the blizzard and the mire, and for the winner are the spoils. Yes, we are the curse stealing from the villagers, the big strong Dunmoor Crag Pillagers.
My senses were returning to normal outside in the open air. A huge tree had grown next to the makeshift bridge across the crag. While surveying it, I almost overlooked the pillagers standing beneath the leaves. He had noticed me, but his crossbow took too long to reload, and I managed to close the gap. Fortunately, the other pillagers were too preoccupied to hear the scuffle, their captain's eyes fixed upon Lushville and his men bandying loudly.
If we waited much longer for the others to get back, we'd never catch them.
I sneaked closer to better eavesdrop on them.
I reckon we'd take their hats as well as their shoes this time, teach them a lesson. You see 'em, boss? Yeah, they scurried back all right. The village looks different to the last time we were here, though.
This must be the group of pillagers that kidnapped Bob and Lud. As I edged across the slope, I was spotted. Not by one of the pillagers. A skeleton, shielded in the shadows of Mount Portley, fired at me, and I fumbled for my shield. The clumsy monster fell into the crag as it marched forward. There was no hiding now. Arrows, monsters, man and wolf rained into the crag's crevice, but luckily Two-Bone zoomed back up to me.
You're gonna pay for dropping those on our head.
I don't think so. You're going to be the ones who pay for coming back here. If you want to get to Lushville, you're going to have to go through me. The pillagers laughed. I suppose I didn't sound too intimidating. It was only then I'd noticed the only armour that hadn't deteriorated was my enchanted helmet, from the skeleton horseman that attacked me at Fool's Landing.
All right then, lads. Get through him.
I would have stayed on my safe perch until my shield gave way, but Two-Bone had jumped down again and was in danger, so I threw caution to the wind and dived in after him. The close battle was decided when I chose to eat a carrot in the face of a loaded crossbow. I awoke in Lushville. I'd forgotten the sensation of falling after I perished. It made my head spin, a different type of disorientation than I'd been feeling inside Mount Portley. The whole time I'd stayed in the mountain, I hadn't slept at all, so here I was. The day's work was over for the Lushvillians, but I was in no mood to exchange pleasantries, nice as I'm sure they'd be. As I slipped away, I overheard Teddy chivying on Gibble.
Come on, mate. You know Uncle Rufus ain't gonna be happy with you if you're late again.
But Gibble was stuck. Even from far away, Lud's booming voice was easy to hear.
I just don't understand how he could have even managed to lose all that weight.
My belongings were still where I was slain, and I breathed a sigh of relief that the last surviving pillager hadn't taken anything. I suspect Two-Bone had chased him away. At least he won't be looking for me, and I'd stopped the attack on Lushville. Before I headed back into the eerie halls of the mountain, I noticed a banner on the ground. Its colours were that of the Dunmoor Crag Pillagers. I hung the banner of the Pillagers up and inspected it. More impressive than my own plain white banners, but not to my taste. The face on the banner contorted in front of me. I tried to shake off the uninvited vision that had caught me off guard and told myself to just press forward with my designs. I'd used the flowers I'd picked from the grassland, east beyond the grove, both for dyes and for decoration. When collecting clay for plant pots, Two-Bone had almost drowned. I had all but told myself that the stable was the last addition to the mountain halls for now, and just needed a few more resources to finish it off. With my recent run of bad luck in the field, I thought it would be sensible to venture out in daylight, and so finally tethered myself to the mountain bed by sleeping there. I had never had nightmares more vivid than that night. It was only once I had awoken that I realised the dreams were more end visions, and they didn't stop once I'd woken up. Like aftershocks, my reality distorted, and I couldn't help but try to pat away the hallucinated flames. No, they were real flames. I had fallen again. The second hit to my reserves of magical energy wasn't as harsh as the first, but that didn't take the sting out of it. I had been careless, which I partly remedied by storing away the magic helmet, lest I lose that too. Determined to carry on, I added some final touches here and there, including strengthening the bridge across the crag where I'd been shot, before retiring the job of expanding my mountain hall for another day. At first, I thought the faint rustling was the echoes of another vision. I was finding it was easy to second-guess yourself within Mount Portley. Then, a voice cut through the still air.
There once was a great hall built within Mount Portley, but this isn't it. Someone has defiled this holy place by digging into it.
Despite being unarmed, Phineas was making me feel very vulnerable without any armour. But no, the mountain was not his. Whatever was here isn't here now, but we are. You can't just barge in.
We? I suppose you'd be referring to that skeleton horse down those stairs.
Now I had been caught red-handed.
What will the people of Old Carlton think when they find out about your little pet?
Talus might look different, but he isn't dangerous.
No, Talus seems very placid. I've never seen one up close before. Few have. I want you to bring more monsters here, so I may study them.
That doesn't sound very safe.
If you don't do as I ask, it won't just be the skeleton horse that is revealed. It will be my duty to have to tell Gloria that you're in fact establishing a forward base for the Dunmoor Crag Pillagers.
I got that from a defeated pillager.
Or, now that I think about it, maybe you're spying on Old Carlton for Lushville. I don't see any dirt covering the west entrance to your little warren.
You know that's a lie.
Shush! I will tell you which monsters to get and how to build their cages. You clearly don't know a thing about them.
I felt like there was nothing more I could say. Before, I had voluntarily helped Phineas to catch a drown for his studies. Now, if I didn't help, Phineas would tell the people of Old Carlton I had a skeleton horse, and I'd become a pariah. Then, I'd never be able to sell my bread there. So, that's how I agreed to assist Phineas in turning Mount Portley into his very own monster laboratory. He could come here whenever he liked, and would expect my full cooperation. At least I might learn something from it. Phineas, do you know anything about Endermen? I chose my words carefully. I've been having some bad dreams. It seemed Phineas was choosing his words carefully too.
This is not just a holy place for us. But perhaps holy isn't quite the correct word to describe the significance of this place.
He left, and I pondered the sticky situation I'd found myself stuck in. So I had planned to get Dall-E 3 for this episode to do all of the Ender visions, but I didn't realise that there was a waiting list to get onto it via ChatGPT 4. I also saw on the Minecraft launcher they've linked an article describing which music you can and can't use from Minecraft, and I didn't realise I will be able to use all of it, so there might be a few more tracks featured in the coming episodes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.